In this demo, we look at the configuration options for Oracle Application Container Cloud Service. So this is what the Overview tab looks like after an application is successfully deployed. And remember, I told you that this link would change, and sure enough, it's blue, meaning the application is running and we've deployed. Changes from gray to blue. And then notice here on the left, we've got 3 tabs. We have Overview, which is what we're on, Deployments and Administration. We'll go through each of those in order. But first, let's look at the Overview tab here. It just provides us a little metadata, tells us the application version, when it was deployed, what runtime we're using. And then we have some basic monitoring information. So I have this little field here tells me that I'm using 38.3% of the memory for my container. I can click on that, and then I can get a graph of my memory usage over time. And so this shows I have 1 instance. So I'm looking at the 1 instance, and you can see the memory usage looks pretty stable. So that's what we can do. We can look also, you can choose the memory option there and then look at total memory used. So it looks like we're using about 400 megabytes of RAM there for our application. Once again, it's showing you a graph over time. So that's what that does. So I'm going to jump back to the application there. And also you can see here I can control the size and the number of instances for my application here. So if I want to say scale up to 3 instances, I would click on these increment decrement buttons, and up I go. And then notice I have to confirm that with apply if I want to do that, which I don't. So I'm going to do cancel. Also, I could go in here if I wanted to type in just 4. Then it would do the same thing. I'd have to confirm that before it would actually scale up. But once I do apply and confirm that I want to scale up, then it would just automatically scale up. But I'm not going to show that right now. And that's pretty much it for the Overview tab. Let's look at Deployments. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And the Deployments tab, this is everything about deploying your application. So we have some information once again about when it was deployed and stuff. And this little section here, this little button here, Upload Now, allows me if I want to update my running application. So if I click on Upload New, that's exactly what I can do. I get a dialog where I can upload new information. So this first option here is Manifest, and that's a metadata file, manifest.json, that tells me what my launch command is and information like that. We'll talk about that more in week 2. But there's a number of configuration files here we could upload and use that to change our configuration. We also can just click Upload Archive. And so if I want to upload a new version with my software just still running, I can do it from here, and then it'll restart everything and things will just keep working like they were before. So I'm not going to do that though. I'll go ahead and cancel out of there. And let's see what else here. Here's my launch command. Once again, that's set up in the manifest. We'll learn about that later when we create our application archive. Now, an important section here is service bindings. So if we want to connect to like a database service, we do that here. So you would do that by clicking Add. And then you get this little dialog here. You say Service Type. And see here, I've got my service types, MySQL, Database Cloud Service, a number of different services. So let's say Database Cloud Service. And if I have an instance, I'll be able to pick it from there. Then I would pick that instance, and then you put in the username and the password for that service. So it would be the credentials I need to log into Database Cloud Service. That's what you put in there. And then once I did that, your application would probably restart, and then you would have access to that cloud service. In addition, down here you can set your own environment variables if you need those for your application, and also look at the deployment history. If you've deployed your application several times, it'll show up down there you just click on that rocker here and it'll show you that information. All right, so that's, oh, and also before I forget, on each page here you have some control buttons. Notice I have, if I mouse over that and stop, let's see if I can get that. Notice I have start, stop, restart, and then retrieve monitoring details. That'll just refresh that overview page. I have all those on all the pages now, so I can control my app from there. In addition, if you click on the hamburger menu, you can also start, stop, restart this application from there as well. So just should point that out, and that's on all the tabs. So you'll see that on all 3 tabs. Let's look at the administration tab. And you see here I've got, if I scroll up to the top, I've got 3 tabs within that. And updates, this tracks if your underlying platform is updated. So you see here I've got Java SE8 version update 121. So if that gets updated to say 133, then I would get a little dialog in here, a little button that would say, do you want to upgrade, update your application to the latest Java platform? You would click on that, and then it would just restart your app with the current platform version. And that applies to any of the platforms supported by Oracle Application Container Cloud Service. The next tab here is logs. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And I've already gone ahead and retrieved a log, so I did that beforehand. So see here, it'll tell me I can then download that log and look at it. It's telling me what instance I'm running and then server.out to zip. So it's a text file. You simply click on get log, and then the service will go out and update the log with the latest information. And once again, here we have another rocker showing the history of the logs that I've captured. Finally, we have recordings, and Oracle Application Container Cloud Service supports Java Flight Recorder. So if I put the command line options in Java to start Flight Recorder, I can do a continuous record of my application, get that telemetry, and then I can get the recording of that telemetry from here by clicking on that button. So that's really cool. So then you can take that data, once again, just like the logs, download it, and then load it in Java Mission Control, and then analyze how your application has been running. All right, so that's all the tabs. The last thing I want to look at is I'm going to click on Applications here. This is going to take me back up to the top of the Service Console. And here you can see, here's my application, employee REST app that's running. Once again, here's the URL to the running application. And I have another hamburger menu here where I can control my individual apps. So I can start it, stop it, restart it, delete it. Anything I need to do, that takes me back to overview. And then service metrics was that little thing I showed you before on overview. So that's pretty much it. If I had any other applications running, they'd show up here, and then I could control them individually. Each one has its own little menu. So I think that completes an overview of the Service Console and what it looks like for a running application. So that completes this demo.